Welcome to Monday morning yoga in beautiful San Juanillo, Costa Rica. And we're going to start today sitting in a cross-legs position. And we'll just take a moment to sit up tall, to close the eyes, to find length in the spine and a little bit of a weighted pelvis. So we feel that our seat is firmly connected to the ground, but there's this constant lifting and lengthening up that's happening. And we're going to do a little bit of spine and pelvis work to start. So on an inhalation, we'll have our hands on our knees. We'll kind of pull our chest forward in space. So you feel like you have a little arch happening and a kind of tipping of your pelvis. And then as you exhale, we'll curl through the spine. We'll pull the belly in, letting the head drop down, and we'll feel that the pelvis tucks under the other way. And we'll just go back and forth between the two, inhaling to pull forward and exhaling to pull back. Nice and slow. The more deeply you're breathing, the slower the movement should be. And this is a really great movement, not only for the spine, the muscles in the back and the glutes, and also pelvic movement, but it's really great for the organs as well, especially our digestive organs. The next time we pull forward, we'll switch our movement to a side, right, back, side left, and forward. So we're making a big circle of the ribs around, and you should feel again that kind of tipping movement happening with the pelvis each time we're doing ribs to the front and ribs to the back. So I like to think about when I'm doing this kind of like a tornado shape. So my upper torso is that wide circle, and then that little destructive tail at the bottom is down at my lower spine. Let's go ahead and reverse the direction of our non-destructive tornado. We'll do about 3 more revolutions. And then we'll sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in as you reach the arms overhead, and then we'll rotate over to the right, placing our left hand on the right knee, and turning the head to look over the right shoulder if possible. On your next inhalation, come to face forward again. The arms reach overhead. And as we exhale, we go over the other way. And we're trying to look over that left shoulder. The next time we come forward, we'll take the arms overhead, and then we'll place our fingertips down in front of us and just slowly walk the hands forward without forcing, allowing the torso to fold over those crisscross legs, letting the head be very heavy. And then to promote a little more opening through the back of the neck, we're just gonna press into the left hand a bit. You'll feel your torso moves a little to the right, and then press into the right hand a bit, and you'll feel the torso move a little towards the left. So my head is really hanging in between the arms, and we should also get a nice stretch here at the low back. So when my torso moves left, I feel it on the right side. And when my torso moves right, I feel it on the left side. And then we'll go ahead and walk the hands back in, sitting up nice and tall. So let's take our feet uncrossed and flat on the floor. And I want to make sure I have space between my chin, my chest, and my legs to sit up nice and tall. So I don't want to have my legs too close in. And we'll just do a little bit of core work to get the body heated up for our practice. So my arms are out in front of me, palms facing each other. I'm making 2 parallel lines with the arms, and I'm sitting up nice and tall. As I inhale, I'm going to keep that tall spine and I'm going to hinge my body back until I'm maybe halfway down. So I should feel my abdominals working. And as I exhale, I pull myself upright again. And we'll do 6 of these, inhaling back and exhaling forward. Inhaling back and exhaling forward. Continuing for 3 and 2 and one more time. And then once we're upright again, we'll bring our soles of our feet together, making a diamond shape with the legs. We'll sit up nice and tall as we breathe in and fold forward as we breathe out. So generally when we're doing core work, because the knees are often bent in that position, it can feel like the hips get a little bit tight. So in between, I like to do a little bit of stretching movement for the hips, because we will be doing one more variation. So on your next inhalation, sit up nice and tall, and we'll bring the feet back to that flat parallel position. The arms reach out in front of me again. I'm going to hinge back as I did before on my inhalation. And then as I exhale, I'm going to rotate my torso over towards the right. Both arms are reaching in that direction. Inhale back to center, exhale all the way up to sit again. Inhale, hinge back. This time we'll go towards the left as we exhale. Inhale back to center and exhale all the way up. Hinging back, breathe in. Exhale right. Inhale center and exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale forward. We'll do one more on each side, following that same breath pattern. And then this is our last one, going back, left, center, and up. This time for our hip stretch, let's scoot the feet around, and we'll come into a nice child's pose. So we'll do an open stance child's pose today. My knees are wide, my toes are touching. I bring my feet back towards my heels, and I let my head relax down towards the floor. If it doesn't touch the floor, that's okay. My arms can be bent or they can be stretched out, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Nice, deep, even breathing here. And let's add a little bit of a rotation here. So we're going to walk our hands back just a bit so we can see the front of our mat, and then we'll take the right arm threaded underneath the left and turn the head to follow along in that direction. Try to feel that the weight of your body is really sinking down into that right shoulder, maybe even also that right hip. When you're ready, press into your left hand to release the right arm forward. And then we'll take our left arm threaded underneath, turning the head to follow along. Nice, deep, even breathing, feeling that weightedness in the left shoulder. And when we're ready, we'll release, pressing into the right hand to reach the left arm forward. We'll fold over one last time through the middle, maybe noting that it feels like it can release a little more the second time around. And then we'll go ahead and walk the hands back enough to lift the seat so we can come onto all fours. And once we're on all fours, we'll stay in neutral spine. The toes can be pointed or tucked under, up to you. We're just going to shift the hips from right to left. So we're working on opening the gluteus medius, and that's our little glute muscle at the side of your seat. And its job primarily is keeping the femur bone nice and secure in your hip socket. It can be kind of a hard area to get into. We'll do one more on each side. And then we'll do one more core movement. Simple bear pose. My toes are tucked. I'm going to take my knees off the mat, keep that neutral spine, and hold here. Deep breath in. And out for 3. Deep breath in. And out for 2. Deep breath in. And out for 1. Go ahead and release the knees down. And we'll come to stand up on both knees with the hands on the hips. So I'm extending my hip joint all the way. And we'll do a little extra hip stretch before we take our first downward facing dog. So I'm going to take a big step forward with my right foot. And I want to make sure that my ankle is in front of my knee. Then I'll let my arms reach down towards the floor. And I'm going to simultaneously send my hips forward in space as I reach my arms forward. And then I'll take my arms overhead. So I'm making a nice arc from my fingertips down through my toes. And I have a nice opening in this left hip. Deep breath in. And out for 3. Deep breath in. And out for 2. Deep breath in. And out for 1. Let's take the arms out to the sides and back onto the hips. And then we'll do a nice firm push with the right foot to bring ourselves back to our starting position so we can do the other side. Big step forward with the left foot. Again, your ankle is in front of your knee. The arms sink down, and then the hips come forward with the arms that then reach overhead. Deep breathing in. And out for 3. Deep breathing in. And out for 2. Deep breathing in. And out for 1. Hands come on to the hips. Big push with that left foot to return the knee. And then we'll go ahead and take both hands down to the floor, tucking the toes, extending the legs, and coming into our first downward facing dog. So the more and more I practice and teach yoga, the longer it takes me to get into my first downward facing dog. I feel like when I first started teaching 20 years ago, that was like your first pose. But the older I get, the more I feel like my body needs some time to get ready to come into this position. Let's do a little pedaling of the feet to open up through the calves and the hamstrings a little bit more. So I'm just bending my right knee a little bit. I'm sending all of my energy into that left side. So that from my seat down through my heel, I'm trying to lengthen all of that musculature. Breathe into that space. And then I'll go ahead and switch sides, bending the left knee a bit and sending that right heel down. Finding that nice long space in the back of the leg. So you can switch from side to side at your own pace. Maybe you want to go a little faster than we've been going. But you're welcome to keep it a nice slow switch from side to side. So let's go ahead and extend both legs straight. And we're going to lift up high onto the balls of the feet, and we're going to release our knees back down to the floor. And then we'll come to stand up on the knees like we did before with the hands on the hips. From here, big step forward with the right foot. And this time I want to make sure that my ankle and my knee are in line. From here, bring your fingertips down to either sides of your front foot. And you can use blocks here if needed. You're going to extend your back leg straight. We're in a nice low lunge. And I'm really trying to pull that left heel as far back in space as I can. Now deeply press into both your feet. Engage the abdominals and lift the torso, taking the arms overhead. So we are in a crescent pose, standing crescent pose. It's a nice long lunge. If it feels comfortable, you can add a little bit of an arch to the spine, but you can also focus on just stretching this back hip and this back leg without any arch at all. From here, we're going to take a little bit of a rotation. I'm going to open my arms out to the sides and gently turn my torso towards the right. Reaching out through both arms, out through that back leg, and out through the top of the head. Now, keeping this rotation in one movement, the left hand goes down and the right arm goes up. Re-find your center and then reach everything away from that point. If possible, you're going to be gazing up towards that lifted hand. When you're ready, place your right hand back down and we're going to step that right foot all the way back into downward facing dog again. And then from here, we'll move through our vinyasa. As we inhale, we come forward into our plank position. And as we exhale, we lower down to the floor. You can always bring your knees down first if that feels more accessible. Inhale, upward facing dog. The arms extend, the spine extends, the chest opens. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And we'll count out 5 nice deep breaths here. Inhale. And exhaling 1. Inhale. And exhaling 2. Inhaling. And exhaling 3. Inhaling. And exhaling 4. Inhaling. And exhaling 5. On your next inhalation, lift the heels high. As you exhale, lower the knees down. And come to stand up on the knees as we've been doing. So I've got my hands on my hips. I'm going to step that left foot forward. Ankle is in line with knee. And then I'll bring my fingertips down to the floor so I can extend the back leg. So my right leg is extending. And then I'll press down into the feet to lift the torso and the arms. Inhale fully. And exhale completely. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling. Let's open the arms and rotate towards the left. We're reaching out through the arms, through the back leg, and through the top of the spine. And then we'll take that right hand down as the left hand comes up. So it's kind of like a pinwheel or a watermill? Yeah, watermill. Deep breathing in and out. Okay, so let's inhale to take the left hand down and exhale to step back to downward facing dog. We'll inhale forward into plank. We'll exhale down to the floor. Again, the knees can come down first if you like. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog, holding and breathing there. Inhaling. And exhaling 5. Inhaling. And exhaling 4. Inhaling. And exhaling 3. Inhaling. And exhaling 2. Inhaling. And exhaling 1. Okay. So I know it's been a while since we've all practiced together regularly, and one thing that can be challenging is stepping your foot forward to lunge from this position. So we're going to do a little prep work for that. On your next inhalation, reach your right leg up and back. We're in 3-legged dog. Now as we exhale, we're going to pull the knee towards the nose and shift the body forward so the shoulders are right over the wrists. And inhale, reach up and back again. Let's do 3 of those. Exhale, pull it. One more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, pull in. Now from here, see if you can step that right foot down in between your hands. And if you need to use your hands to get your foot forward, that's okay. Then put your back heel all the way down and we'll come into warrior 1. So it's essentially similar to that pose we've just done, except the back heel is rotated down. We're still trying to keep the torso facing forward, even though that back hip is slightly opened out. Of course, each inhale is nice and full. Each exhale is complete. So let's go ahead and extend our front leg straight. We're going to open the arms out to the sides and bring the hands onto the hips. And then we're going to take one step forward with the back foot. So now my feet are a little closer together. From here, we'll take pyramid pose. I'm going to extend my chest up as I pull my elbows behind me, and then I'll reach through the chest to fold over. Now in this position, you can place your hands on your front shin. You can place them on blocks or down on the floor if you can reach, but the goal is to keep that front leg as straight as you can. Now once you've figured out the position of your hands, make sure that your head is fully released, and we'll take nice deep breaths here. Now let's make sure that the left hand, wherever it is, has a nice firm hold, and we're going to take our right hand onto the right hip. From here, we're going to rotate the chest towards the right, and then we'll reach the right arm up. So now we're in a rotated triangle position. Nice deep breathing in and out. So let's keep this rotation going. Look down towards the floor, bend your knees, and you're going to step your left knee outside of your right foot. If possible, your right arm is still up. And then we'll move into a seated rotation. So I can take my right arm down as my left arm comes up, and then I'm going to rotate by either pressing my elbow against my knee or hugging my knee, rotating towards the right. On an inhalation, come to face forward, and we'll rotate around the other way, looking over the left shoulder. And then we'll come to face forward again, and we'll take this top leg all the way around behind us, coming into a pigeon pose. So my left leg is externally rotated with the knee pointing forward. And before I fold over, I want to just press down into the floor and try to lift my chest as best I can. So I'm getting a nice extension in the back hip. And then when I'm ready, I'll settle down closer towards my mat, and I'll start to walk the arms out in front of me. I often do this position with bent arms, but you're welcome to extend the arms all the way straight as well. When you're ready, lift your gaze and start to walk your hands back in towards you. We're going to plant both hands, tuck the back toes, and try to step back in one smooth motion into our dog pose. Once we're here, we'll inhale forward to plank. We'll exhale down to the floor. We'll inhale upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward facing dog. And we'll take 5 deep breaths here. Inhale. And exhaling 1. Inhale. And exhaling 2. Inhale. And exhaling 3. Inhale. And exhaling 4. Inhale. And exhaling 5. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Now we're starting this whole series on the other side. Exhale, knee pulls in, we shift forward for 3. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull in, shift forward for 2. One more time. And this time when we shift forward, big step, Use your left hand if you need to get the foot in between the hands. Then, back heel comes down, my back toes are slightly turned out, and arms reach overhead for warrior one. Fingertips reach up, shoulders pull down. Nice 90-degree angle shape with that front leg. When you're ready, extend the front leg straight. Open the arms out to the sides and bring your hands onto your hips. Now we're going to take a small step forward with the back foot. I'm going to lift my chest as I pull the elbows together behind me. Deep breath in and full breath out to fold over. So again, that front leg is straight in your pyramid pose. Hands can be shin, blocks, or all the way down if you can reach without a deep bend in that front knee. Try to relax the head. Try to relax the shoulders. Let's move into our rotated triangle. So we want to make sure we have a solid hold with that right hand. The left hand comes onto the hip. We're rotating toward the left, and then we're extending that left arm up. Taking this rotation down to the floor, look down, bend the knees, taking the weight off that back foot so you can step your knee down outside the left foot. If possible, my left arm is still up, then I'll swap arms, circling the left hand down as the right arm comes up, and then I'm rotating towards the left. Excellent. Now you can either press the elbow against the knee or hug to rotate around. On your next inhalation, come to face forward. Exhale, easy rotation around the other way, hugging with the opposite arm. And then we'll face forward again and take this top leg all the way around. Taking our two pigeon pose variations. So again, the first one, I'm just lifting away and trying to create as much opening through the back hip and through the chest as I can. And then when I'm ready to, everything kind of sinks down and forward as we walk the arms out in front of us. Take your time, lifting the gaze, walking the hands back in space, tucking the toes, and stepping back into your downward facing dog. Let's inhale forward into plank. Exhale down to the floor. Inhale upward facing dog. And exhale, press back to downward facing dog. We'll take 5 deep breaths here together. Inhale. And exhaling 5. Inhale. And exhaling 4. Inhale. And exhaling 3. Inhale. And exhaling 2. Inhale. And exhaling. So we practiced those planky pull-ins earlier to help us step the foot in between the hands from this position. So let's try this time to just lift the leg up and step it all the way through. So we should be feeling warmer now. So on an inhalation, reach that right leg up and back. Then as you exhale, knee to the nose and step that foot all the way through if you can. Again, you're welcome to use your hand to help move the leg if needed. From here, we'll take the back heel down just like we did before, and we'll lift up into Warrior One, but this time we'll open out into Warrior Two straight away. So my torso is facing towards the left. I'm reaching out through both arms. And I have, as always, my nice 90-degree angle shape of that front leg. On your next inhalation, extend your front leg straight. And then we'll exhale into triangle pose, reaching the hips back in space as the right hand comes forward and down. My left arm reaches up. I'm trying to make a nice flat space through the torso. On your next inhalation, come all the way up, reaching out through both arms, and bend the front knee back to Warrior Two. From here, we'll do extended angle B, and we'll do the variation today where we're bracing our forearm on the leg and then reaching that top arm forward in space. So I'm making a nice diagonal line from my back leg through the torso, out through the arm, and I'm just, if possible, trying to gently turn my head to look upwards, but without letting that left shoulder lift up towards the ear. On my next inhalation, I'll extend the front leg, unfurl the body, reaching out through both arms. Then as I exhale, I'll bend the front knee again, and I'll go the opposite direction for Peaceful Warrior. My left hand comes down, and my right arm reaches up and over. From here, in one smooth motion, circle both of your hands down by your front foot and lift your back heel off the floor. Then in one smooth motion, we step all the way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, forward into plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Inhale. And exhaling, 5. Inhale. And exhaling, 4. Inhale. And exhaling, 3. Inhale. And exhaling, 2. Inhale. And exhaling, 1. Okay, let's take all of this on the left side. We're going to reach that left leg way up and back. Take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, swing that knee through and step your foot down. Once your foot is down, the back heel lowers. We lift both arms up into Warrior One, and then we open both arms out to Warrior Two. So my torso is facing towards the right and looking over that left hand. On your next inhalation, extend your front leg, and we'll move into triangle pose, taking the hips back in space as we reach out and down with the left arm. Kind of flatten the torso, so the hips, the ribs, and the shoulders are in line. And we're gently looking up, if possible, past that top hand. On our next inhalation, we bring ourselves upright. As we exhale, we bend the front knee again. The left arm braces itself against the left leg, and the right arm reaches all the way up and over for extended angle B. On your next inhalation, extend the front leg, reach out through both arms. Exhale, towards the opposite leg. Peaceful warrior. In one smooth motion, we take both hands down by the front foot, lifting the back heel, and then we step all the way back into our downward facing dog. Last time, inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Holding and breathing for 5. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Let's lift the knees and take the, lift the heels rather, and take the knees down to the floor. And then we'll take our open stance child's pose. My toes are touching, my knees are open. And I'm folding forward, relaxing the head. The elbows can be down or the arms can be extended straight. So we'll add a little bit of a lateral reach here. Walk your hands back just enough to lift the chest, and then take them over towards the right and fold forward again. You should feel a nice stretch along that left side of the torso, and hopefully nice compression in that right hip joint. When you're ready, walk the hands in a bit to take them over the other way, folding over that left side. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center, folding forward through the middle briefly one more time. And then from here, we'll work our way to lie down on our front. So I'm making a cactus shape with my arms, 2 right angles. And I'm going to turn my head to look towards the left. And we'll just start with an easy stretch of the quadriceps. So my left arm is going to reach back for my left foot, or my right hand rather is going to reach back for my right foot. My head is turned towards the left, and we're stretching the right side. So I'm pulling my right foot towards my seat. And we're just working on lengthening those long muscles in the front of the upper leg, from the hip all the way to the knee. Okay, let's release that foot and place the arm back to where it was. We'll turn our head to face towards the right. We'll reach the left arm back for the left foot, and we'll pull gently and firmly towards our seat. Okay, so from here, once you've released, we'll take both arms along sides of the body. My palms are facing upwards. My legs are all the way together, and my toes are pointed, so the tops of my feet are touching the floor. I'm going to press down into my hands, lift my legs, my head, my chest off the floor, and hold here. Deep breath in, and out for 3. Deep breath in, and out for 2. Deep breath in, and out for 1. Release down, turning your head towards the left. And you can either keep the arms where they are, or if you prefer, you can stack one hand on top of the other and rest your head on your hands. So for this next back bend, we're going to keep our feet relatively widely spaced, maybe about the width of your mat. And we'll take the arms out in front of us so that the palms are facing one another and your pinky finger is resting on the ground. On an inhalation, we lift the arms, the legs, the head, the chest. Even imagine you can lift your belly off the ground by scooping in and up. Hold and breathe. When you're ready, gently release down. And again, you can stack the hands if you like. We'll turn the head to look towards the right this time. Okay. So we'll do one core pose before transitioning to our forward folds. So we're going to stack our elbows right underneath our shoulders. My chest and my gaze are reaching forward. My knees are going to lift up off the floor. I'm going to pull my abdominals way in to take my hips off the floor. So we're in a forearm plank. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. And exhale 5. Come on down. Scoot your hands right underneath your chest. And we'll do one extra little chest opener. So I'm going to take my right arm out to the side. My right hand is in line with my right shoulder. I'm going to press into my left hand and roll to the right side of my body. And then I'll just take that left foot behind me. Now I can either stay here with my left hand down, or if I feel like I have enough balance and mobility, I can lift that left arm up. And then from here, if possible, try to reach it back in space a little further. Let's return the hands, return to the front of the body, switch the arms, press into that right hand to roll onto the left side, taking the top leg behind, and if possible, reaching the opposite arm up. Maybe even reaching it back in space. Take your time replacing both hands. And then we'll move into a traditional child's pose. My knees and my feet are together. My seat goes down towards my heels. My arms reach back in space. My head is hanging down. If your head touches the ground, that's great. If not, also fine. So let's draw ourselves upright, and we'll sit down on one side of the feet and extend the legs forward. So we'll do one more twisting variation. We're going to take our right foot over the left leg, and then we'll rotate towards the right, again, hugging or pressing the arm against the leg. And as you can see, my bottom leg stays extended forward, so my left leg is nice and straight. When you're ready, come to face forward, and we'll take our, the right knee still bent where it is. We're going to take the left forearm down, so the right side of my seat lifts up, and then I'll gently press My right hand against my right knee. A little bit more of a hip opener, hopefully feeling a nice opening through the mid back as well. When you're ready, bring yourself back upright, and we're going to take this right foot right up against the left inner thigh. So my right knee is still pointing out to the side, and then I'll fold forward over my left leg. Now your hands can stay down. You can use a yoga strap to get the hands closer towards the foot, or if you can reach your foot without bending the knee, even better. Take your time to draw yourself upright, and then we'll just scoot our right knee a little bit more opened out towards the right. From here, we'll take a nice lateral reach. So I'm reaching out through both arms. My left hand comes inside my left leg, and my right arm reaches up and over. On an inhalation, draw yourself back upright, and then we'll go ahead and extend our right leg all the way forward alongside the left, and we'll do all of that on the other side. So I'm going to bend my right knee and place my foot bend my left knee and place my foot over the right leg. And I'm rotating toward the left. My right leg is still nice and straight. On an inhalation, I'll turn to face forward, and I'll take my right forearm down on the floor so that my left side of my seat lifts up, and then I'll gently press my left hand into my left knee to rotate my chest down towards the floor. Find your way back upright. Left foot comes to inner thigh. We sit up nice and tall as we inhale, and we fold forward as we exhale. On an inhalation, draw yourself upright. Open that left knee a bit more towards the left, and then we'll reach out through both arms and side bend. Right hand down towards the right, left arm reaching up and over. On an inhalation, find your way up, and then extend your left leg alongside the right. Okay, so our last forward fold will be seated forward bend. I'm going to walk the hands forward as I exhale. I'm going to try to let my head relax without bringing the shoulders in the same direction. So I'm trying to kind of root those shoulders down away from the ears as I fold over. On an inhalation, we'll draw ourselves upright, and then we'll bend the knees. And we'll take a nice, slow roll down onto our back. So let's reach out through the arms. Let's pull the belly in. We're in a little bit of a curled spine. It's like the second half of a sit-up. And we're going to come down as slowly as we can. And once we're down, we'll take a nice big hug in with both knees. Gently rocking the body from side to side. The next time your knees go to the right, let them touch the floor, and we'll hold them down with the right hand as we open the left arm. Easy reclined twist. When you're ready, knees switch sides. Nice and easy. Nothing forceful in these last few moments. And we'll go ahead and take a glute bridge or half wheel. So my arms are down at my sides. My feet are between hip and shoulder distance apart. I'm going to press down into my hands and my feet to lift my hips up high. Nice and slow to roll down through the spine. And then we'll work our way into shoulder stand. Now, if shoulder stand is something that doesn't feel accessible to you today, that's okay. You can lie down with your legs straight up. You can even scoot yourself over towards the wall so your feet can rest on the wall. But if you're up for it, we're going to start to rock back and forth along the spine until we can lift the seat enough to quickly place our hands at the low back. And then once that happens, we'll extend the legs up. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to slowly lower your legs, keeping them as straight as you can, into plow pose. So our goal, eventually, if not today, is to get the feet or the tips of the toes down. From there, the knees bend at either sides of the head. And this is a really nice compression for the digestive organs. So try to hang here, if you can, just a little longer before we start to slowly roll down through the spine. And then once we're down, we lengthen out through the legs and we slowly lower them down with control. Once the legs are down, prop yourself up on your forearms. Allow the head to hang back, exposing the throat. Taking the opposite movement of the neck for this last pose. And then finding a comfortable position to rest in for the next few minutes. Take a moment to deepen the breath, to feel the head firmly supported by the ground, to feel the chest open as you breathe in, and the shoulders to relax down as you breathe out. Imagine a nice long line of space starting at the base of the skull and working all the way down through the spine. Find a heaviness and a stability in your pelvis, and feel a lengthening and a lightening of the legs, the feet, the toes. When you're ready, on an inhalation, give yourself a nice big stretch from tips of fingers to tips of toes. And on an exhalation, draw the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in with the arms, making yourself into a nice small shape, and rolling over onto one side before finding your way up to sit in an easy cross-legs position. Once you're seated, close the eyes again and note the difference that you feel physically, mentally, energetically in this position as opposed to when we began our practice about an hour ago. Feel the positivity you've created in taking this time for your yoga practice. Take a nice deep breath in as you draw your hands to prayer position at the heart, and release a full breath out as you fold over to conclude.